I'm Jeff Thomas, Athletic Director of the Rosendale-Brandon School District. The purpose of this video is to inform you of the athletic code for the Rosendale-Brandon School District for the school year of 2014-15. To find the athletic code booklet, you can go to the Rosendale-Brandon School District, either print off a copy or follow along if you choose to do so. At the high school level, in our conference are the following schools: Kettle Moraine Lutheran, Laconia, Lemira, Mayville, North Fond du Lac, Amarillo, St. Mary Springs, and Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Our conference is called the Flyweight Conference. The philosophy and objective of the Rosendale-Brandon School District. The Rosendale-Brandon School District believes that athletics are an important part of education and that a variety of sports should be offered for both boys and girls. Participation in athletics is a privilege. Athletes must learn to follow established rules of conduct, training, and grooming, and to learn to work with others so they are a credit to themselves, their families, the school, and the community. Laconia athletes are expected to conduct themselves with pride in their efforts, regardless of winning or losing, and to realize that teams we compete against are composed of people who also will be giving their best. Responsibilities of athletes: display good citizenship, display good sportsmanship, display respect for those in authority, including officials of the school and on the field of play. Something very important at the high school level is the attendance policy supported by the WIAA. An athlete must be in attendance at school for the full school day to be eligible to participate in athletic games or athletic practices. The only exceptions will be made in the case of an emergency, a pre-excused absence, a permission from the high school office, principal, or athletic director. A pre-excused absence form is available in all schools in our district. It's also available online in case your son or daughter would forget to bring home a pre-excused form. The pre-excused form needs to be signed by the parent before the teachers will fill out the pre-excused form and give your son or daughter the lessons that they will be missing. Should they be leaving school to go to the dentist, to the doctor, or what have you, it's important that they have this pre-excused absence form filled out again by parent, by teachers, and turned into the office prior to going to that appointment. Something else that I would like to add to that is, if your son or daughter have left school to see a professional, if they bring back a slip from that professional's office stating that they were there, that will be considered a medical excused absence, which will not count against their attendance for the school year. Eligibility rules for an athlete. 1. Requires an athlete prior to participating in any sports in grades 9 through 12 that they have viewed this video along with their parents. The purpose of this is to review the athletic code and rules of eligibility, explain the procedure, the physical examinations and insurance, and so on. Scholastic requirements. The students must be in full-time attendance for grades 9 through 12. All students must be doing passing work in all of his or hers classes per quarter. A student shall be ineligible for interscholastic competition if he or she reaches her 19th birthday before August 1 of any given school year. A ninth grade student shall be ineligible to compete on a ninth grade team if she reaches his or her 16th birthday before August 1st of any given school year. The Wisconsin concussion law. There will be a form that the athlete and parents will need to sign only once per school year prior to participating in any sport. Previously, it was prior to each sports season. This year, the new law is once per school year prior to each sport season. Amateur status, always something in question for all high school athletes. Please do not allow your son or daughter to receive any large gifts of value, no cash. Ribbons are okay, t-shirts can be okay. My advice is to have the parents accept any prize that an athlete may receive for competing in a sport. This will allow your son or daughter to keep their amateur status. Should they receive money that makes them a paid professional and now are no longer eligible for amateur sports. Very important. If you have any questions regarding this, please feel free to contact me. Prior to an athlete participating in any sport, these items need to be turned in to their coach. They'll need a physical exam. If they've had a physical exam the following year, they would need an alternate card, which is a small yellow card which is not required to be signed by a doctor. Athletic insurance, there is an athletic insurance waiver, or there is a form to allow you to purchase additional insurance if you would like. Athletic fee at the high school level will be $30 this year. The signed district verification form will also need to be filled out and turned in. And on that form this year will be a spot where you can check that yes, you and your son or daughter or both have viewed this video prior to participating in any sport. Parent and athletic agreement form related to the concussion, again, will need to be turned in prior to participating in any sport. No student who is dropped from one squad for disciplinary reasons shall be eligible to compete in another sport during the same season. A student may go out for only one sport per season. Choosing the members of athletic squad is the sole responsibility of the head coach of that particular sport. Grades. With the exception of fall sports, all other sports, if you have one letter grade F at the end of a quarter, you will be put on, your son or daughter will be put on probation for 15 school days. At the end of 15 school days, grade check will be done again. If they are not passing all of their grades, they become ineligible and will have another 15 days to be able to correct and be passing all classes. At the end of that second 15 days, if they are still not passing, they become ineligible until the next quarter grading period. Academics are very important. The exception for fall sports, fourth quarter grades will carry over to the following school year. Students do have the opportunity to make up particular classes that are provided by summer school. If they choose to do so and they pass their summer school, they will then become eligible. If they choose not to, the minimum ineligibility period shall be the lesser of 21 consecutive calendar days, beginning with the date of the earliest allowed competition in a sport, or 1/3 of the maximum number of games meets allowed in a sport, rounded up if 1/3 results in a fraction. Again, this is supported by the WIAA. Basic rules of the WIAA eligibility are: you must have enrolled by the 17th day of your present semester. You must have completed all work below grade 9. A full-time student may be afforded up to 8 consecutive semesters of interscholastic eligibility, or in some cases, a denial of eligibility. For the purpose of this rule, attendance at one day of school and or attendance at one athletic practice shall determine beginning of the school year. Very important. Remember this, please. A student who transfers from any school into a member school, unless the transfer is made necessary by a total change in residence by parents, must do so before attending one or more days of school or one or more athletic practices at the school the student is leaving. If not, the student is ineligible for any level competition for the remainder of that school year. Code of conduct for athletes. No use or possession of drugs prohibited by law. No smoking, possession of smoking materials, or use or possession of tobacco in any form. No drinking, possession of alcoholic beverages, no convictions of misdemeanors, no theft, stealing, no plagiarism, no cheating. An athlete will be suspended for each individual infraction of the code. Example, if a student was drinking, smoking, and also convicted of stealing, that would be 3 infractions, and that athlete would be suspended for 180 school days. Suspended from sports. A student who transfers from any school, whether or not a member, with the status of ineligibility for disciplinary reasons and or as a result of another state association regulation or sanction, retains such status at his or her new school for the same period as decreed by the former school. Athletic Review Board appeal process. Should an athlete have an athletic code violation and a decision has been made by the athletic director, if the athlete and parents do not agree with the decision, they have the right to use the appeal process. Self-reporting code violations. First-time offenders. We understand that children make mistakes. If they own up to their mistakes, they can do so by self-reporting within 72 hours of the violation. If they do so, the infraction or the offense would be cut in half to give them another opportunity. Example, if the first offense would be 2 games of that particular sport, then it would only be 1. This can be used one time, again, for first offense only. General rules. An athlete wishing to transfer from one sport to another must gain permission in writing from both head coaches involved. No transfer will be allowed if the athlete is under disciplinary action in the sport he wishes to leave. If an athlete misses practice, game, and is unexcused, the athlete will be suspended for the next contest. Example, competing on club teams or practices is not an excused absence. All reports of violations must be submitted to the athletic director in writing and signed by the person making the report within 30 days of the infraction. The school coach holds the right to suspend an athlete for circumstances that may occur, which deal with violation of school rules that are not necessarily related athletic activities. Each athlete is responsible for school equipment issued to them. Should their equipment be stolen, lost, the athlete remains responsible and will need to replace what they have lost or which has been stolen. A reminder, the school district furnishes transportation to and from all the way athletic contests in a school vehicle. Any other mode of transportation to contests must have prior approval of the athletic director. There are occasions when return trips with parents may occur. The parents must sign a consent form with the coach before they take their son or daughter home with them. Seniors in team sports may not compete on the JV level. An exception to this would be a AFS student or student with special needs. Sunday practices can only be held between the hours of 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock, provided they have been pre-approved by principal and or athletic director. Please remember, these Sunday practices cannot be made mandatory. Community night will be recognized on Wednesdays. All school-related functions are to be completed by 6:45. In other words, an athlete may leave at 6:45 on Wednesdays with no penalties. Letter awards. Each sport indicates general requirements for as to how they will level. You can only letter at the varsity level. Any athlete who is removed from an athletic team for disciplinary reasons or who quit the team prior to the end of the season shall not receive a letter for that sport. The sports schedules at the high school level as well as at the middle school level are available at our website. You go to our website, click on sports calendars, and then when the sports calendar comes up, click on the sport that you would like to look at. It'll give you practices, games, and the times that they start or where they may be held. This concludes our athletic code video for the high school level for 2014-15. If you have any questions regarding the athletic codes, schedules, anything with extracurricular activities, feel free to contact myself at Laconia High School. 920-872-5308 is my direct line, or you can email me Thank you.